Okay, welcome to the second talk of this session. Um, so it's a great pleasure to have Vasudev Patnaik from ICER Pune talking on principal series component of Gelfand drive representation. Over to you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Uh, Also, I would like to thank the organizers of this symposium for allowing me to present our work. So let me do it full screen. Uh, just a second. Okay, is it now fine? Hello.
Yeah,
Yes, yes, that's fine.
Thank you. So today I will talk about some Bernstein component. So mainly principal series component of Gelfand Gripe representation. This is based on a joint work with my supervisor Monish Mishra. So throughout this talk, F will denote a non-Archimedean local field with its ring of integer O and residue field FQ, the finite field, whose cardinality is Q and characteristic is P. So let G be a connected reductive algebraic group defined over that local field F. So by capital G, we will denote the group of F rational points of the bold G. Fix a maximal F split torus S in G, and let T be the centralizer of this torus in G. Then T is a Levy factor of a minimal F parabolic subgroup B of G defined over F, where its Levy decomposition is B equal to TU, where T is the Levy factor and U is the unipotent radical of that minimal parabolic subgroup B. Whenever H is a Zariski closed subgroup of this group G defined over F, we will denote by capital H the group of F rational point of that H. That means whenever we will denote by capital G, B, T, U, S for the F rational point of corresponding bold groups G, B, T, U, S respectively. Let U hat be the space of all smooth characters psi of U. Then the torus T, then P acts on this space that means space of all smooth characters by this. So T acts on psi will be some psi T, where psi T is defined by in this way x goes to psi of T x T inverse. So now we'll introduce Gelfand-Greif representation. So a smooth character psi of U is called non-degenerate or generic or sometimes called principal if its stabilizer in S lies in the center of the group G. There are many other definitions also, equivalent definitions. So we are fixing it here. So then the Gelfand-Greif representation that will denote C int GU psi corresponding to one generic character psi is provided by the space of right G smooth compactly supported modulo U function f from G to C, which satisfy this condition f of UG equal to psi of U, f of G for all U belongs to U and small g belongs to G. So, so the U is coming out via this function psi, that generic characters. Uh, Now let M be a BT standard F Levy subgroup of an F parabolic subgroup P of G. That means M is a Levy subgroup of G where of the parabolic subgroup P whose Levy decomposition is Mn. P equal to Mn, where M is the Levy component and N is the unipotent radical. So BT standard means that B is contained in P and T is contained in M. Then actually B intersection M is a minimal parabolic subgroup of M with its unipotent radical U intersection M, which we will denote by UM. Then actually if we the restriction of the generic character psi to UM is a non-degenerate character of UM. So So provided that the M is BT standard. Okay. So then we have two. So whenever we have a generic character psi, we have a Gelfand-Guide representation of G corresponding to the psi. Again, we are getting one generic character psi M. Uh, so we will get one Gelfand-Guide representation of M corresponding to this psi M. So Bushnell and Heniard relates these two Gelfand-Guide representation via this. So let P minus will denote the P opposite parabolic subgroup of P. That means P minus equal to whose Levy decomposition is M n minus, where M is the Levy component and n minus is the unipotent radical. And opposite means we are saying that n intersection n minus is trivial. Then Bushnell and showed that the Gelfand-Guide representation of M corresponding to the generic character psi M is isomorphic with the Jacquet module of the Gelfand-Guide representation of G corresponding to psi at the unipotent radical n minus. So this is the isomorphism as M representations. Okay. So now we will recall Bernstein decomposition. So let RG denote the category of smooth complex representation of G. Then Bernstein said that this RG can be decomposed into some indecomposable subcategories. RG in this way, RG equal to product of RSG, where S runs over BG. BG is the Bernstein spectrum of G. So the definition of this is that BG is the set of inertial equivalence classes. So class will be denoted by in this way, S equal to M sigma G. So inertial equivalence classes of some cuspidal pairs. So cuspidal pair M comma sigma, where M is an F Levy subgroup of G and sigma is a supercuspidal representation of M. So we are defining the inertial equivalence relation on this set of all cuspidal pairs in this way. So two such cuspidal pair M1 sigma 1 and M2 sigma 2 is inertially equivalent if there exists some G belongs to G and an unramified character chi of G such that this M2 is G M1 G inverse, that our notation is GM1, and G sigma 1 is sigma 2 tensor with that unramified character chi. So here G sigma 1 definition is where X goes to sigma 1 G inverse X G inverse G inverse X G. The definition of this representation. So if this condition satisfied, then we will call M1 sigma 1 inertially equivalent to M2 sigma 2. So this is the this is the definition of BG. Now take S equal to M sigma G. So that subcategory RSG is defined in this way. The block R M sigma GG consists of those representations pi of G whose each irreducible constituent appears in the parabolic induction of some supercuspidal representation in the equivalence class M sigma G. So now we'll recall Hecke algebra. Already in lecture we have seen this stuff. So let J be a compact open subgroup of G, and let tau V be an irreducible representation of a compact open subgroup J of the compact open subgroup J of G. Then corresponding to this pair J comma tau. So J is the compact open subgroup, tau is the irreducible representation of that compact open subgroup. We can associate an algebra. So that is we are calling Hecke algebra. So here we are in the notation of Hecke algebra, we are dropping the notation J, but J is there actually. So we are denoting Hg tau is the space of compactly supported function f from G to endomorphism of V dual over C. So satisfying some condition like this. So f of J1 G J2, where J1 J2 coming from J and G is coming from G, is actually tau dual J1 Fg tau dual J2. Here tau dual V dual is the quanta gradient of our representation tau V of the compact open subgroup J. In the standard convolution operation gives this space Hg tau the structure of an associative C algebra with identity. Now, corresponding to that pair J comma tau, we can associate another subcategory. So we are denoting it by R tau G. This is the subcategory of RG whose objects are the representations pi v of G generated by tau isotopic subspaces of V tau of V. Tau, so corresponding to J tau, we can associate this subcategory. So now, then actually there is a functor M tau from this subcategory R tau G to HZ tau mod. HZ tau mod means here the left unital, left module over this Hecke algebra HZ tau. And the functor is defined by in this way. So pi goes to the home space of tau comma pi over J. So now Bushnell and Kuzco introduced theory of type. So they actually, so what we previously defined RSG, that subcategory. So they present the subcategory with respect to this J comma tau in this way. So if this subcategory R tau G is equal to RSG, the pair J tau is called an S type in G. So yeah, so we are taking one kind of definition. So there are many kind of equivalence definitions, but here we are taking. So when R tau G, this subcategory is equal to RSG subcategory, then the pair J comma tau is called an S type in G. Now, in the case in this case, when J tau is an S type, the functor M tau gives an equivalence of categories. Now we'll recall G cover. So let Km rho M be a M sigma M type in G. That means Km is a compact open subgroup in M, and rho M is an irreducible representation of Km. Also, let K rho be a pair consisting of a compact open subgroup K of G and an irreducible representation rho of K. Then this pair K comma rho is called the G cover of Km comma rho M if any opposite pair of a parabolic subgroups P equal to Mn and its opposite parabolic subgroup P minus equal to Mn, the following property hold. So first property is that K can be decomposed in this way: K equal to K intersection N, K intersection M, and K intersection N minus. And Km is exactly K intersection M, and if we restrict rho to Km, then it will be rho M. And K intersection N, K intersection N minus lies in the kernel of the representation rho. And third property is that for any smooth representation epsilon of G, the natural projection map from epsilon to its jacket module epsilon N induces an injection on the rho isotopic component of epsilon. So that means there is an injection from rho isotopic component of epsilon to the rho M isotopic component of the jacket module of epsilon at N. In this case, that means whenever K rho is a G cover of Km rho M, then K rho is an M sigma G type in G. And then actually Bushnell and Kuzco showed that for any parabolic subgroup P prime equal to Mn prime, and for any smooth representation epsilon of G, there is an isomorphism of H M rho M modules via this whatever we define M rho. So the rho isotopic component of epsilon is isomorphic to rho M isotopic component of the Jaquet module of the epsilon at unipotent radical N prime. There is an isomorphism as a H M rho M module. Through Bernstein decomposition, the Gelfand-Guy representation C in G U psi decompose into the direct sum of certain representation C in G U psi S. So these are Bernstein component which is in that Bernstein block RSG, or S belongs to BG, the Bernstein spectrum. So Bushnell and Heniart showed that for each S belongs to BG, this Bernstein component of the Gelfand-Guy representation is actually finally generated over G. So we will mainly focus on this Bernstein block, Bernstein component of the Gelfand-Guy representation, where S is principal. That means S equal to T comma chi, where chi is so T is an maximal split torus of G, and chi is a smooth character of T. So let K rho be a T comma chi G type in G, and this kind of type actually exists due to many people, but recently Jessica Frentzen showed that if G is split over some temporally ramified extension of F, and the characteristic of the residue characteristic P doesn't divide the wild group of G, then this kind of type actually exists. So we are assuming this K comma rho exists. Uh, and let H0 be the associated Hecke algebra associated to this pair K comma rho. Then the rho isotopic component of this Gelfand-Guy representation generates this Bernstein block C and G U psi. Yes. So we saw that this rho isotopic component of this Bernstein of this Gelfand-Guy representation is actually a cyclic H0 module. And moreover, we'll show that when T is split, then this rho isotopic component is exactly isomorphic with the Hecke algebra tensor with some sign representation of some sub algebra HW chi of this Hecke algebra H0. So we'll introduce, we'll define this HW chi later. Anyway, so this work actually generalized the main result of Chan and Sabin, who treated the case of when chi is the trivial character for T split case. So now, so we'll state our first theorem. So, so there is an isomorphism between this rho isotopic component of Gelfand-Guy representation associated to psi is isomorphic with HT rho T, this Hecke algebra of as a HT rho T modules. Consequently, we can say that the rho isotopic component of this Gelfand-Guy representation is a cyclic H0 module. So we'll briefly sketch the proof. So put M equal to T in equation 1. Equation 1 was this. So Gelfand-Guy representation associated to psi M is isomorphic to the Jacquet module of Gelfand-Guy representation associated to psi. So if we put M equal to T, so we can see that UM will be now U intersection T, that is trivial, that will be trivial. Then we are getting this. So the Jacquet module of the Gelfand-Guy representation associated to psi is actually isomorphic with C in T1C, and that is exactly CC infinity of T, complexly supported space over T. And now if we take the rho T isotopic component both ways, so the rho T isotopic component of this Jacquet module will be isomorphic to CC infinity T rho T isotopic component of this space, and that is exactly HT rho T. So the Hecke algebra as HT rho T modules. Now we recall the equation 2. So equation 2 was that the rho isotopic component of any smooth representation epsilon is isomorphic to rho m isotopic component of Jacquet module of epsilon. So this implies that as a HT rho T module, the rho isotopic component is isomorphic to C int GU psi U minus rho T. That means, rho T isotopic component of the Jacquet module of the Gelfand-Guy representation associated to psi, and that is exactly isomorphic to, we have seen before, so HT rho T. So that's why, as a HT rho T module, these are isomorphic. And so since HT rho T is a subalgebra of H0, so it's one generator, so one is the generator here. So yeah, this is a cyclic module as a H0 module. Now we'll recall, from now on, we'll assume that G is split. That means here B equal to TU is a F-Borel subgroup containing the maximal split torus T equal to S now. And now we'll recall the Hecke algebra, so Roche's Hecke algebra, principal series Hecke algebra. So the pair B comma T determines a base root datum x upper star phi is the root system here, and pi x lower star phi dual and pi dual. So we have already seen these notations here. So here x upper star respectively x lower star is the characters or co-character lattice of T, and pi is a base for the set of roots pi here. Pi is the root system related to T in G. Again, we already have seen this notation. So the while group. So the W is the while group of G. So in GT, so W is nothing but the normalizer of T in G over the centralizer means here itself is T. So T be the while group of G, and W delta be the Iwahori while group of G. Then actually we have already seen this fact that W delta is nothing but X Loaster semi-direct product with W. So let consider any character chi has be a character of T, and we denote chi by the restriction of chi has over O rational point of T. Then the O rational point of T is the compact open subgroup. So now O rational point of T and chi is a T comma chi has T type in G, and Roche constructed a G cover K comma rho of this pair, the O rational point of T and chi. And then by the definition of G cover, so K rho is a T chi has G type in G. Now let the W dual chi, W delta chi, that is actually the subgroup of W delta which fixes chi. That can be written as in this way. So W delta chi is exactly X lower star semi-direct product with W chi. Here W chi also is the subgroup of W which fixes chi. So now consider the Hecke algebra A0 associated to the pair K comma rho. Then Roche gave generators TW for W belongs to W delta chi of the algebra Hecke algebra A0 and their relations. Already we have seen this kind of relation in ma'am's lecture there. So some braid relations we know. And this generators is defined in this way. So for each W belongs to W delta chi, we define TW to be the unique element of this Hecke algebra whose support is K NWK. Here NW is the lift of so representative of W in the normalizer of T. And so it's up. So TW is the unique element of this Hecke algebra whose support is K NWK, and who takes the value on NW. So this value, so Q to the power L of W by 2 minus L of W by 2. Here L is the length function on the while group. Okay. And chi delta NW inverse. Here chi delta is a certain kind of lift of the chi to the normalizer. So this kind of lift actually exists. Uniquely, we can lift that chi. So now we denote is W chi be the subalgebra of this Hecke algebra H0, which is generated by TW when W is coming from just W chi. So the chi fixed point of the while group W. So this is our subalgebra. Then actually from Bernstein presentation, we get that this Hecke algebra A0 can be written as this subalgebra tensor with HT rho T over C. So yeah, okay. So there are some Bernstein relation also. I'm not presenting here. So anyway, so this Hecke algebra can be written in this way, so that commutativity comes actually. Let SGN so denote the one-dimensional representation of HW chi. So this is the sign representation in which each TW acts by the scalar minus 1 to the power L dash W. Here, so first we denote LW. L was the length function on W delta, but here L dash is the length function on W chi. By the way, so this W chi may not be always the while group, but in our situation, when chi is trivial, this W chi is the while group, then length function defined. And if G is also of connected center, then also W chi is a while group. So this L dash is defined for connected center situation also. So, so some note, if our chi has positive depth, then we assume all the assumption taken by Roche. That means the assumption was that the F has characteristic 0 and some restriction on the residual characteristic P. We are assuming here whatever Roche assumed. So then I will describe the principal series component more explicitly. So let x be a hyperspecial point in the Broussard-Tits building of G, which gives us G the structure of a Shivali group. Then the hyperspecial subgroup GF x comma 0. So I mean, so this kind of group is already MEMS little bit expressed. So these are so some kind of, there are some kind of filtration on periodic subgroup. So Moy-Prasad filtration. So coming from that. So we are assuming here. So the special, so hyperspecial point gives this thing. So GF x comma 0 at x is nothing but the orational point of the group G. Actually, these things are schematic, but okay, we will not recalling here all these things, but we are assuming. So assuming the Moy-Prasad filtration of periodic subgroup. So the so periodic subgroups are certain kind of stabilizer of some point in the Broussard-Tits building. Not exactly stabilizer, but some kind of effect there. So anyway, the hyperspecial subgroup GF x comma 0 at x is the O echelon point of the group G with flow unipotent radical GF x comma 0 plus. Then actually we have that this quotient group GF x comma 0 modulo GF x comma 0 plus is actually the finite group G over FQ. So FQ rational point of the group G. So this will be so so this fact is coming from some special fiber. Okay, so anyway, we say that size of generic depth 0. So our psi was the generic character. So that psi is called generic depth 0 at x. If psi restricted to this subgroup UF intersection GF x0 factors through a generic character psi q of this finite unipotent group U of FQ. That is nothing but UF intersection GF x0 modulo UF intersections the pro-unipotent radical of GF x0, that is GF x0 plus. Then now we can state our theorem. So if chi equal to trivial, chi is a trivial character, then we assume that the t orbit of psi so contain a character of generic depth 0 at x. So we know that t acts on the space of all smooth character of U. So if the t orbit of psi contains one generic depth 0 character at x, so we are assuming that part when chi is trivial. And other cases, if chi is not trivial, then we are assuming that the center of G is connected. Then actually we showed that as a A0 module, this row isotopic component it can be written as in terms of this Hecke algebra module. So H0 tensor with the sign representation of H W chi. Okay. So yeah, yeah, I think yeah already time. So I will not give the proof, but yeah, this proof coming from finding one generator of this row isotopic component. So not generator, one function such that all this TW, the generator of the Hecke algebra, when W is coming from W chi, acts via scalar, and that fact will give us this result. Okay, and that is ensured by some result of reader. Okay, so I think I will stop here. But yeah, so here are some references. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let's give a round of applause to the speaker. Are there any quick questions or comments?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Is anything known about the other blocks? So your theorem is for the principal series blocks, right?
Principal series block. Yeah.
What about the other blocks? Is there any expectation or?
Yeah. There are some known result for GLN case. All blocks, so for GLN case, we can reduce to all Ihaguri block type. Okay, so same people, Chan and Sabin, they gave for all blocks. Okay, for GLN situation, and yeah, since we don't know explicitly the Hecke algebra of, for other block, I mean,
so this recent
don't know
result of
explicitly the
Mishra
result.
and Adler. The result of Mishra and Adler for regular blocks, they do have some relationship between the Hecke algebra and some depth zero block, right? For some other group, but they.
Yes.
Okay, that is not of.
So,
okay.
But no. But actually, so here the thing is that to calculate, so to present this isomorphism, we need so explicitly we need to know the this TW, how TW is acting on this space. But due to Ross's work, I mean, we knew the TW. Okay. And and also Bernstein decomposition. So Bernstein presentation of this Hecke algebra we need. But yeah, I don't know. So for other blocks, I don't know how to do it.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Any other questions, comments? If not, let's thank Basudev again for a nice talk, and we'll start in about 7 minutes at 12:25 on schedule. Thank you.